canine training yard echoed with commands, whistles, and barks. But in one corner, a young German shepherd sat frozen, eyes clouded with fear instead of focus. Every drill he attempted ended in failure, stumbling over hurdles, ignoring commands, cowering from gunfire sounds. Trainers shook their heads, recruits whispered, and most agreed this dog would never make it. He was a lost cause. But then, on a crisp morning, a single father walked by with his little girl, unaware that their lives and this broken canine's destiny were about to collide. And when that dad raised 2 fingers to his lips and gave one sharp whistle, every jaw in the yard dropped. Before we dive deeper into this unforgettable story of second chances and hidden bonds, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Whispers of Kinness, your place for stories that inspire, heal, and touch the heart. To story development, the K9 unit had been struggling with Max for weeks. Max was no ordinary dog. He came from a bloodline of top service dogs bred for strength, loyalty, and courage. But unlike his siblings, Max trembled at sudden sounds, refused to chase dummies, and froze when ordered to attack. His handlers tried everything: stricter discipline, gentler training, even extended rest. Nothing worked. "Some dogs just aren't cut out for service," muttered Officer Daniels, the head trainer, shaking his head as Max failed yet another agility test. "He's going to wash out." Meanwhile, across town, Jake Turner, a single dad in his early 30s, was battling struggles of his own. Ever since his wife passed away 3 years earlier, Jake had been raising his daughter Lily alone. Life wasn't easy. Jake worked long shifts as a mechanic, barely scraping by. But no matter how exhausted he was, every evening he came home, made dinner, and sat by Lily's bedside to tell her stories of courage, loyalty, and love. Lily, just 8 years old, carried a quiet sadness in her big brown eyes. She missed her mom deeply, but she adored her dad and often told him, "Daddy, you're my hero." One Saturday morning, Jake decided to take Lily to the park near the police training grounds. Lily loved dogs, and the two often watched from behind the fence as the K9 units trained. That day, they arrived just as Max was failing yet another drill. Lily leaned against the fence, whispering, "Daddy, that dog looks scared." Jake followed her gaze. He saw the German shepherd trembling, refusing to leap over a low barrier, ignoring the frustrated commands of the trainer. Unlike the other dogs, Max didn't have fire in his eyes. He had sorrow. "Maybe he doesn't need someone yelling at him," Lily said softly. "Maybe he just needs someone to love him." Those words hit Jake harder than he expected. They reminded him of Lily herself. How fragile she had been after her mother's death, how the world seemed too heavy for her small shoulders, and how she only blossomed again when he stopped pushing her to be strong and simply sat with her in her grief. As the trainers gave up on Max once more, Jake felt something stir inside him. He raised 2 fingers to his lips and let out a sharp, clear whistle. Max's ears shot up, his head snapped toward the fence, eyes suddenly alive. Then, to everyone's shock, Max sprinted across the yard, not toward the trainers, but straight to Jake and Lily. The yard went silent. Trainers exchanged bewildered glances. Max pressed his nose against the fence, tail wagging, body trembling not with fear, but excitement. "Daddy," Lily whispered, eyes wide, "likes you." Over the next days, Jake and Lily returned to the park. Each time, Max would break from drills and run to them, ignoring commands from the trainers. At first, the officers were frustrated, but then curiosity took over. Why did this failed dog respond so powerfully to a stranger? Finally, Officer Daniels approached Jake. "You a trainer or something?" Jake chuckled. "No, sir. Just a mechanic." "Then why does that dog act like you're his handler?" Jake hesitated, then shrugged. "Maybe he just needs a gentler voice." Intrigued, the unit allowed Jake inside the yard one morning. Lily stood at the edge, cheering softly as her dad crouched down and called Max with a low whistle. The dog bounded toward him instantly, tail wagging, eyes bright. Jake didn't bark commands or yank the leash. Instead, he spoke softly, guiding Max with patience and warmth. To everyone's shock, Max began completing drills he had always failed before. He cleared hurdles, fetched dummies, even responded to simulated gunfire with focus instead of fear. The yard buzzed with disbelief. "What on earth?" one recruit whispered. Officer Daniels crossed his arms, jaw tight. "Looks like this mutt just needed the right partner." As weeks turned into months, Jake unofficially became Max's handler. Every day after work, he brought Lily to the yard. Together, they trained Max not just with discipline, but with love. Lily's laughter became the background music of Max's transformation. She would clap, cheer, and even run beside him during drills. Max blossomed under their care, no longer the trembling failure, but a confident, loyal canine with eyes full of purpose. But not everyone was supportive. Some officers muttered that a civilian didn't belong in their program. Others doubted whether Max could ever be trusted in the field. The real test came one afternoon during a staged drill, a mock criminal chase with loud gunfire, shouting, and smoke. Max hesitated at first, trembling as the sounds of chaos filled the air. For a terrifying moment, it seemed he would fail again. But then Jake whistled once, clear, steady, full of calm. Max's ears perked. He looked back at Jake, who nodded with quiet confidence. In that instant, the dog surged forward, fearless, completing the drill flawlessly. He leaped, tackled, and held down the suspect with perfect control. The yard erupted in cheers. Lily jumped into her dad's arms, shouting, "Did it! Daddy, he really did it." Even Officer Daniels, who had doubted Max the most, gave a rare smile. "I'll be damned. That dog was born for this, and maybe so were you." 2 months later, Max became an official member of the K9 unit, with Jake offered a part-time position as a civilian handler. But more than the badge or the title, what mattered most was the healing the bond had brought. Max wasn't just saved. He became Lily's protector, her playmate, her source of joy. And in many ways, Max helped heal Jake too. Training the once broken dog reminded him that strength isn't about never falling apart. It's about finding someone who sees your worth even when you're at your weakest.